Texas A&M, Zubin, only losses this year against the top two teams in college football. Alabama, who they play closer than anybody else has, and Clemson by 2 points. Tonight they take on a Mississippi State team trying to bounce back from a disappointing road loss at LSU. The Bulldogs had beaten Auburn, which at the time was in the top 10, just prior to that game. And their hopes were high to pull the upset in Baton Rouge, but could not pull it off. They'll return home to try to take down Jimbo Fisher's Aggies, his first year at the helm in College Station. First year for Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State. His team 4-3 and 1-3 in conference play. A&M is 3-1. Mississippi State won the toss and deferred, so A&M will get the football first. Scott Goodman will kick it deep for Mississippi State to Roshad Paul and Jashawn Corbin. And we're underway from Starkville. This will be a touchback, and A&M will begin on the 25-yard line. Sophomore quarterback Kellen Mond takes the field. Night and day from a year ago with his passing. Completion percentage at 62. He was at 52 a year ago as a freshman.
And he was thrown into an impossible situation last year. True freshman Nick Starkville wins the job in camp. Kellen Mond is forced into the lineup. He really, in a perfect world, would have redshirted, but he has bounced back in his second season and looks like a completely different player.
Mond to throw on first down and 15, and the pass is caught at the 24-yard line by Courtney Davis. So he gets close to the original line of scrimmage, and only a gain of 5. Errol Thompson in coverage.
And this A&M offense in the week off probably thinking about how can we become a little more efficient running the football. Kellen Mond's been outstanding, especially on the underneath passing game. But it's the run game where they really need to pick it up. Balance is so important to Jimbo Fisher's offense, and they haven't had a whole lot of it in their most recent games.
On second down and 11, Mond to the air again, and the pass is high and incomplete, intended for Davis again. So third down and long, and when you're in third and long against Mississippi State's defensive line, look out. And the receivers trying to relay instructions from their quarterback with a play clock at 1. Almost another delay of game again, but they get the play away this time. Mond climbs the pocket through the hands of the intended receiver, incomplete. Rogers couldn't come up with it, and it's 3 and out for Texas A&M to start the ball game.
A great start for this Mississippi State defense, but if you're A&M, you have to think, man, we put ourselves in this spot. You have a drop pass right there, throw a little behind, naturally trying to hold up Rogers, knowing that there was someone on the perimeter that might hit him awfully hard if he let him a little more.
But a chance to flip the field even when you're punting from your 25-yard line, because you got the best kicker in terms of average maybe in the history of college football, and he booms this one. Braden Mann back to the 21-yard line, taken by Thomas, and he's bottled up. Could not go anywhere, and so Mississippi State will be backed up on its 20-yard line. Be interesting to watch Nick Fitzgerald early on. In talking with Joe Moorhead, the head coach for Mississippi State, because of Fitzgerald's struggles passing the football, under 100 yards 3 straight games, he said, you know what, Tried to play it conservatively a little bit. I'll take responsibility for that. I'm going to let Fitzgerald throw it downfield a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, don't coach scared. I think that's when he looked at himself. He's just been so hesitant to cut Nick Fitzgerald loose, and he's got to be willing to take the chance and trust the quarterback. Maybe he'll respond with additional responsibility.
They're without Kylan Hill, their top running back. Harris Williams getting the start, and they throw it to Thomas on first down, and he goes nowhere. Brought down for a 1-yard loss by Otara Alaka, the leading tackler, linebacker out of Houston.
No, going back to Joe Moorhead, guys, in terms of him being a play caller, we're seeing a little tempo here. They've got to stay ahead of the chains, because what Joe Moorhead was coaching in fear of is 3rd and 7+. And how many plays do you have in the book for Nick Fitzgerald that can make that happen? You've got to stay ahead of the chains here early.
And they lose a yard. Tom on first down. Fitzgerald throws to Thomas again, and he gets positive yardage, but not much. Brought down at the 25-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and around 6 here for Mississippi State on its opening drive.
Yeah, we've had 5 offensive snaps so far, and you can tell these teams, especially against the run, outstanding. Both defenses for A&M and for Mississippi State are very impressive groups. Some of the best in all of college football will both take the field tonight. These offenses both have their hands full.
A&M #1 in the country in 3rd down defense, and it's 3rd and 7 for Mississippi State. Fitzgerald to the air from the pocket, and that one dangerous, but it's still been caught. Osiris Mitchell banged out a play at the 47-yard line. Maybe that's the kind of bounce that the Bulldogs need to get going offensively.
What an unbelievable catch. How about that? He went up and went with the Odell Beckham one-handed catch on the comeback. He didn't reel it in initially that way, but he gathered it. That was an incredible play by Mitchell.
First down on the 47-yard line. Here's Williams with a huge running lane against the #1 rush defense in college football in Texas A&M. And it's a gain of about 8 yards. Fitzgerald will throw again, and now look at a takeoff. Slips a tackle. It's a big guy, 6'5", 230 pounds, able to pinball forward to the 37-yard line, pick it up about 4 yards.
Now, Greg, that was an awful lot about separation downfield. They're trying to hit number 86, their tight end. Safety stays over the top. Smart play a week ago. That was a forced ball by Nick Fitzgerald on the road at LSU. Very smart play, knowing where you're at on this field right now. Put yourself into a 3rd down situation that you can handle.
He's got 8 completions in the game last week, 5 already in this one. 4 interceptions in that game a week ago.
This is potential 4-down territory, too, in this part of the field.
From the 37-yard line, Fitzgerald keeping it here, cuts it back, and Fitzgerald has the first down. They finally catch up to him at the 23-yard line, but it's a 14-yard run by the senior from Richmond Hill, Georgia.
They definitely love this part of Nick Fitzgerald's game. This part's never been in question. He's an effective runner, and he's more elusive than you realize. He's better north and south, obviously, in that big 6'5", 230-pound frame, but he's pretty sudden. Right there, laterally, gave a little miss and burst forward for a big pickup.
And how about Greg and Tom? 3 for 3 on 3rd down. A&M #1 in the country in 3rd down defense entering tonight. Off play action. Fitzgerald lobbing it down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Farrod Green had to turn around, and the ball looked like it was thrown out of bounds. Would have been tough to get a foot down even if he caught it.
And Tom, so much about playing the quarterback position is confidence. And Nick Fitzgerald just hasn't displayed a whole lot of it throwing it over the last few weeks.
No, he really hasn't. And listen, you're hearing a lot of the boo birds. You're hearing the negativity, throughout campus, in the media. And he's a redshirt senior. You got to block it out and come out, get some confidence with some early completions, which they've done here today.
11th play of the drive. Williams is grabbed in the backfield and spun down. Otara Alaka, terrific player, senior middle linebacker, making his 34th consecutive start. He's the leading tackler for that A&M stout defense.
And that defense is outstanding. They have really changed it up under Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator, coming down from Notre Dame. This was a group that underachieved constantly in the Kevin Sumlin era. no longer. Some of their most talented players are playing their best football, and it's been a joy to watch.
Can they move the chains again on 3rd down and 12 in a 6-minute-plus drive? Fitzgerald throwing it deep into the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Guidry.
Did he get in? You can see he secures the catch, but at what point does that foot go down? Goes vertical, ball is in his hand, and that right foot, it does appear to be inbounds. And what a start for the Mississippi State offense. Just off the charts, confident, composed. And how about Moorhead, who's about as easygoing as you'll find as a head coach in college football, showing all kinds of emotion as the Bulldogs get an opening drive touchdown. Well, Nick Fitzgerald has been a lightning rod for criticism, as is his head coach. He loves to start today, though. They lead by 7.
Nick Fitzgerald with his first touchdown pass in the last 5 games. He had 6 interceptions during that span since his last TD on September 15th. This will come out to the 25 after the touchback. And Kellen Mond back on the field for Texas A&M. He grew up in San Antonio, played high school football there before transferring to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida for a senior year. Committed to Baylor, but after Art Briles was fired, he decided to go to Texas A&M. His idol, Deshaun Watson, that's a good idol to have, especially when you watch Deshaun play Thursday night when he had more touchdowns than incompletions.
He's done a tremendous job. Thrown into a very difficult situation last year, starting as a true freshman because of the injury to Nick Starkville, but he has really progressed in his second season.
Travion Williams, big hole, up to the 32-yard line and brought down at the 33, a gain of 8. Mond last year completed just over 50%. He's at 62% completion rate. And in last year against Mississippi State, he was 8 of 26 for 56 yards. That was seems like a lifetime ago for him, the way he's played.
It was an eternity. And Jimbo Fisher, of course, is a quarterback guru. He has done a wonderful job putting Kellen Mond in opportunistic situations to be accurate. He coaches to his strengths. And as a result, Mond has really shown tremendous potential.
Right there.
Williams in trouble. And they'll lose about 2. Jaquarius Landrews, who's starting tonight for the injured Brian Cole, was in on the play along with Errol Thompson. We talked about how good A&M is defensively. Mississippi State as good. Number 6 in total defense, number 4 in points allowed. And they love 3rd down on that D-line. Mond to throw on 3rd and 6. Pressure up the middle, but he completes it for a first down to Jones. Into Mississippi State territory, a 13-yard gain to the 45.
Yeah, this is one of their best principles. It's just a little snag route underneath. And they can look to the outside to the flat, not there. You work right inside. It's a great job by Mond finding Jones for the easy completion. This is one of their bread and butter passing concepts. And they'll run it at least 3 or 4 more times tonight. Mond is very comfortable reading through it.
Mond, who threw for 430 yards against Clemson, 330 in the second half. Throws it back here to Travion Williams, and Mississippi State not full, but look at Williams showing off the skill, turns it upfield. But they catch up to him at the 42. Look at Jeffrey Simmons running all over the place. Yeah.
Guys, look at the effort from Jeffrey Simmons here, number 94. Just unbelievable. Getting double teamed at the point of attack. Chases the screen to one side and runs it down.
And he is unbelievable. I mean, when you watch him, Tom, you and I we're used to watching the secondary, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's occasionally a defensive lineman that you just can't take your eyes off of. Jeffrey Simmons is that guy and has been for the last 3 years.
One of the best defensive linemen in all of college football, maybe the best we've seen in person this year, as Mond keeps it and gets a block. Out of bounds near the line to gain inside the 35-yard line. Does have 4 rushing touchdowns this year. And he's able to move the chains to the 34.
Greg, we asked Jimbo, you know, do you have a run number for Kellen Mond? He said, nope, I just play it by ear. But boy, does that keep a defense on their heels when they've got to account for that. Not only between the tacklers on the quarterback counter or power, but on the perimeter.
And he's a very capable runner. I mean, he's not going to necessarily take over the game with his legs, but keeping you honest, those 10, 12-yard gains that he can reel off 4 or 5 times throughout the game, and it's tough on a defense.
Here's a pitch to Davis, and he runs out of real estate. Gets maybe a yard or 2. But you think of all the different personalities that Jimbo Fisher has had, whether it was as an offensive coordinator when he was at LSU or the head coach at Florida State with Jameis Winston, Christian Ponder, and now you've got Kellen Mond. He says Kellen Mond, when I yell at him, he actually likes it because he grew up in a military family. His dad, Kevin, who's here tonight, he served in South Korea with the United States Army. So Mond doesn't mind it when you get mad at him. It just drives him to be better.
Yeah, and you can see Kevin right there looking on very proudly of his son, who's done a tremendous job. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher's going to coach you now. He's going to coach you hard and try to bring out the best in you.
Mond to throw here on 2nd down. It's tipped in the air by Landers, incomplete. Landers coming off the edge. Made the play. It's 3rd down and 8.
Landrews in for the injured Brian Cole. Started last week, too. A nice job on the swing route, knowing you're not going to get home on the pressure. So go vertical. See if you can tip the ball. Kellen Mond's in a tough spot here. 3rd and long on the fringe of area where they might attempt a field goal.
Mond from the pocket gets hit, but delivers a strike, but unable to hang on was Davis. And how about Landrews in coverage that time? 4th down.
All-out pressure called by Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator. Throws just a little bit inside. You have to think the hit that Kellen Mond absorbed as he delivered the football caused him not to get as much weight through it as he would like, which left the ball just a little bit to the right and led to the incompletion.
And now a true freshman, Seth Small, who's made a 52-yarder, will try a 49-yarder, but he hooks this one away to the left. It remains 7-0 Mississippi State here in Starkville. After the missed field goal, Mississippi State takes over on its 32-yard line with a 7-0 lead. Let's see if Nick Fitzgerald has some confidence now throwing the ball. Although they run, Harris Williams bounces off a tackler and takes it all the way to midfield. An 18-yard pickup for Harris Williams, who's in for the injured Kylan Hill as the starting tailback for Mississippi State.
Man, like a bowling ball, they go with a little counter action with pullers out in front. And Harris Williams, a guy that was replaced in the starting lineup by Kylan Hill. Still a guy that rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. A very capable back for Mississippi State.
Now they go empty here with Fitzgerald. Pressure in his face, and that throw in the dirt. Alaka hit Fitzgerald as we look at our Chick-fil-A impact players.
And it's no secret that this Texas A&M defensive line has been absolutely off the charts. It's a group of players that have been up and down over the last couple of years. Dalen Mack's probably the best example of that. A guy that was great as a freshman, very average, if not below average as a sophomore and junior, really turned the corner. I think this group collectively in the starting lineup, the best in the SEC. And you take the whole group into account.
Better than Bama, huh?
Better than Bama.
Fitzgerald on 2nd and 10. Throws again. Mitchell able to make the catch right at the first down marker at the 41. Devion Renfro in coverage. Let's see where they mark the football.
No, Greg, a week ago or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that's a dropped ball. And that's part of the equation here for Nick Fitzgerald. When he's been right, he hasn't necessarily been helped all the time. So a very important catch right there for the quarterback.
They're 4 of 4 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and a yard as A&M stacks the line of scrimmage. And now here comes the check from Joe Moorhead on the Mississippi State sideline.
Yeah, this might be a situation where Joe Moorhead throws it deep, because if you look at A&M defensively, all 11 defenders are within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage.
It is play action. Fitzgerald rolling out, trying to get to the marker, stuck the football out, and they're going to say he's short. So it's 4th down. We'll see if Mississippi State goes for it. Keeping the offense on the field. Again, hard to tell from that angle where the ball was when he crossed the line, but now they're going to punt the ball. What do you guys think of this here? I think Joe Moorhead's upset with the spot, I'm assuming. You guys like this decision to punt it away?
I'd go for it. I mean,
I would too.
Right now, this point of the season, your defense is still outstanding, and you have to trust them to go out, get the ball back, and you'll be right back in the same spot. But I'd go for it in this situation, especially with a big quarterback.
Well, it didn't look like he was mad at the official. Looking at Moorhead, he has a great play is made at the 1-yard line. Chris Rayford with the play to pin A&M deep, a 41-yard punt, no return.
The beautiful over-the-shoulder catch at the 1-yard line. Absolutely perfect, and that's why you punt it right there. Hindsight is 20/20.
9 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and A&M backed up. The cowbells as loud as they'll get on this end of the field. And it's just a quarterback sneak. Mond out to about the 4-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter here in Starkville. Nick Fitzgerald throwing the football. The story of that opening frame. 7-0 Bulldogs over the Aggies. Mond will give it to Williams. Got the first down up the middle. Travion Williams out to the 20-yard line, a junior who 2 years ago as a true freshman ran for over 1,000 yards. He leads the SEC in all-purpose yards entering tonight. Guy who's one of the leaders on this team, a 2-time captain. He's also been through a ton personally. His family's neighborhood and home was flooded last year, Hurricane Harvey in Houston. They had to evacuate. His aunt and uncle who raised them, they had to tread water for 2.5 miles just to get out of their house and get somewhere safe. It's Williams again on first down. Cuts it back and takes a lick from Errol Thompson at the 22. Here's just some of the shots of the neighborhood in Houston where Travion grew up. Mentioned that they had to go 2.5 miles, and then they got to their daughter's house. And when they got there, they had to evacuate there, and eventually they were able to find their way to safety.
Yeah, he's a special young man. I mean, he's a special young man, and honestly, just watching him this year, he's so decisive. He's always had that home run hitting ability, but he feels more consistent this year. Can still work on some areas of his game, can become a better pass catcher, but man, he's been outstanding for this Aggie offense this year.
On 2nd down and 7, Mond from the pocket. Got him in. At the 40-yard line, it's big Kendrick Rogers. And it takes 2 guys just to hold him up and get him out of play. At the 43-yard line, a 19-yard pickup.
It's a really nice route design by Jimbo Fisher. You go with a little bit of an inside fade route to Rogers right between the safety and the corner who are playing cover 2. That's a wide open zone that you can exploit. And there was a nice throw by Mond, too, holding up Rogers and not trying to lead him upfield into a potential collision.
And here's Corbin, and he gets drilled by Errol Thompson. Ball on the ground, but they're going to say that he was down. It's a gain of 4.
Let's make sure that Corbin was down, and what a collision.
Was the ball coming out there, Greg?
It looks like it's in his grasp, but let's look at that right knee. When does that right knee hit the ground? He's hit, that knee is down, but when does that ball start moving?
Errol Thompson hit Corbin so hard that he's shaken up. Boy, it's really hard to tell if it's moving, but the ruling in the field was he was down, so it'd be awfully hard to overturn that. They keep it on the ground on 2nd and 1, and Corbin is free. Drags Abram with him inside the 25. They still can't get him down. Finally, he goes to the ground at the 19-yard line. A 30-yard pickup.
Just inside zone, and Corbin does all the work. I mean, how about the blocking up front? And this kid, he's only a freshman, but Corbin has a very bright future. Jimbo Fisher used the word special to describe what his potential could become.
He's like Dalvin Cook, Greg.
He is fast.
Cook, who played for Fisher at Florida State. First down, inside the red zone. Mond keeps it here and dives to the 16-yard line for 3 yards.
But Greg, some of the things that make this offense so difficult to prepare for is it's so multiple. I mean, they've gotten into the I formation and they've run true power. They've run zone read. They've run quarterback lead. There's just a lot to prepare for during the week for this Texas A&M offense, and they're finally getting good field position and getting some consistency with this drive here after sputtering for much of the first and a half quarter.
No doubt, Tom. I mean, they've run a bunch of plays, 22 so far, and they've probably thrown 15 or 16 different formations at this Mississippi State defense. Really tough to prepare for a multiple group like this.
Mond on 2nd down and 7 with a clean pocket, dumps it off. Corbin, and a nice open field tackle by Errol Thompson at the 14-yard line. So only a couple yards, it's 3rd down.
Right there on 2nd down, they actually called that play intending to get it to Jay Sternberger, number 81. He just hasn't had a lot of separation tonight. And on 3rd down in the red zone, I want to look at my most reliable wide receiver, and that guy wears number 81. So if I'm Kellen Mond and if I'm Jimbo Fisher, I'm thinking of a way to get the ball into Jay Sternberger's hands.
Mond on 3rd down and 5, going for Sternberger, and he's got the 1st down. Jonathan Abram on the tackle, but based on where they spot it, it's enough to move the chains. 1st and goal.
Yeah, really nice design right here. You're just going to see him work out into the slot with 2 in-breakers outside of him. And against man coverage, he has immediate leverage as he works to the field. A nice design and good execution by the Aggies.
From the 9, 1st and goal. Mond rolling out. Gonna keep it here. Leaps over a defender and then gets leveled by Errol Thompson. Dangerous play by the quarterback, going high in the air and taking a shot.
How about Travion Williams, his running back, getting a block? He tries to jump over that block. Not the best decision, as Errol Thompson delivers yet another blow on this drive. The middle linebacker for Mississippi State, one of the more physical guys you'll find.
Jimbo's going to be telling his quarterback, don't leave your feet, son.
Don't leave your feet. And his dad is a little concerned, clearly, as he looks on, thinking, Helen, come on, keep your cleats in the turf.
2nd and goal. They're going to give it to Williams up the gut, and he is grabbed by Jeffrey Simmons. Boy, did you see Simmons grab him? He stopped his momentum. I mean, Travion Williams is coming downhill, and he's grabbed by Simmons at 6'4", 300 pounds, and that stopped Williams dead in his tracks.
Yeah, I mean, look at Simmons just slide inside. You'll see that right arm just grab him. No chance whatsoever.
But look at that.
When you're running into a brick wall that happens to wear number 94. But this particular case, 3rd and goal, I want to get Kellen Mond outside the pocket. Get him on the perimeter. Give him a run-pass option potentially. See if you can't
into the air. Looking in trouble. Hit by Landers and brought down. Jaquarius Landers has been all over the field here in the first half for the Bulldog D.
I mean, right here, you're going to see
it's outside the tackle box,
right off the edge.
And
they just completely ignore the block. Look at Travian Williams. I mean, he just runs right by him. Oh, shoot. You can't do that.
They called intentional grounding here because the ball did not get through the neutral zone.
Yeah, definitely the correct call there. Very obvious. Good job by the officials. I just can't get over the fact that Travion Williams just completely aborted his protection responsibility. I mean, he just ran right by Landrews and left his quarterback out to dry.
Seth Small's already missed tonight. Granted, that was a 49-yarder. This is a 34-yard attempt. And he puts this one through to get Texas A&M on the board at the 4:42 mark of the second quarter. Nick Fitzgerald will retake the field shortly for Mississippi State with his team still in front. That's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25.
Not only has he thrown the ball very well, but he's made good decisions in the run game, too. He ran it when he had to. He pulled it on zone read once, had a decent run. He looks much more like himself tonight.
Three-year starter, replaced Dak Prescott. And throws one on the money to Guidry, who had the touchdown in the first quarter. He's into A&M territory to the 43-yard line.
This ball just jumps out of Nick Fitzgerald's hand on the curl route. Look at how much velocity is on that football. And that's just a high percentage throw. I mean, this is not a difficult throw for a Division I quarterback. It's a 15-yard curl. Guidry's a decent-sized wide receiver, big catch radius. It's a nice throw by Fitzgerald and a good call by Joe Moorhead.
And the design quarterback run here for Fitzgerald. And he picks up 8 or 9. You don't normally see A&M giving up this kind of yardage on the ground. There's Kylan Hill, who has had some big games this week, including 146 yards against Auburn, but he was hurt in the LSU game. Lower body injury and not available tonight.
I'll tell you, Dave, it sure helps when you have some type of perimeter pass game to help your inside run game.
No doubt. That's 7 yards there. When your head coach, too, is that fired up for you when you complete a touchdown pass, I mean, that's got to boost your spirits. He's been down in the dumps, Fitzgerald, lately. Nothing happening here. Williams did well to get back to the line of scrimmage, brought down by Mack. Take a look at what happened on first down here. Fitzgerald getting hit. And, boy, it looked like a crown of the helmet there by Caper Smith.
It does. And right there, doesn't have to have the cloak of protection because he's a runner. He's not defenseless, but crown of the helmet is targeting all the time. And it certainly looked like the crown did come in and hit Nick Fitzgerald.
And A&M's had 5 targeting plays, including Donovan Wilson, who's not playing in the first half tonight because he was ejected in the second half last week. So they catch a break there.
Yeah, they definitely caught a break there.
Fitzgerald on third down, steps up and dragged down short of the line to gain. Matabike and Dodson both there. It's fourth down. We'll see if they go for it. Donovan Wilson's been ejected 3 times, 5 targeting penalties in all by A&M, and should have been number 6 on Caper Smith.
And Donovan Wilson will be back in the second half for this one. And Caper Smith, his backup, who's in for Donovan Wilson, almost got ejected again. They got to be more mindful of where they're attacking.
What do you think of this here, guys, going forward 4th and 3?
I don't know. I mean, I totally understand why they're doing this, or at least try to force Texas A&M to jump off sides, maybe take a delay of game. But, man, if you didn't go for it on 4th and 1 earlier, why are you going for it in this particular case?
And it's going to be a pass play. Fitzgerald taking a deep shot on 4th and 3. There was some hand fighting down the field. Now the pass intended for Guidry, but no interference on Charles Oliver. I'm not sure why you'd throw it down the field there on 4th and 3.
Well, if you have one-on-one, I understand trying to give your playmaker an opportunity to make a play on it, but I go back to the call itself. A little bit of contact, but good no call in the situation.
But he threw the ball out of bounds, too.
Can't throw the ball out of bounds.
I mean, you're trusting Fitzgerald, a guy that you haven't shown you trusted at all in the last month, to make a play They're on 4th down and 3, throwing it 30 yards down the field.
I still go back to the call originally. I mean, earlier in the game, they punted on 4th and 1. Right there, it's 4th and 3, and you opt to go for it in a similar part of the field. I guess I don't understand why you wouldn't have gone for it on the shorter yard to gain. But in that particular case, you felt good enough about your situation to throw the ball downfield. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And now you got 48 seconds for A&M and a couple of timeouts. You got a chance to get some points going into the locker room. Sternberger dropped the ball, though. Jamal Peters in coverage, so 44 seconds to go. 2nd and 10.
This offense is just out of sync right now for Texas A&M, and you can kind of see the body language on the sideline, kind of looking around at each other like, what's going on here, guys? Let's get this thing cranked up. They haven't had successive big plays in a row or consecutive plays where they've executed well, and it's causing some real problems.
Tommy had some lint on your right shoulder there if you want to brush it off based on that shot we had here. Here's Mond from the pocket. Sternberger again couldn't hang on. Looked like a pretty good throw. There is a penalty flag down in the backfield, though.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask of the passer, number 10 defense.
Oh, my goodness.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
And if I'm Joe Moorhead, I'm looking at Leo Lewis and like, are you insane? Why on earth would you stick your hand into even close to the head area of the quarterback?
Yeah, and Joe Moorhead literally goes straight over to his defensive staff and says, take him out, get him out. I mean, that is, you can't do that under any circumstance. Right here, look, get him out. You see Joe Moorhead saying, get him out. And that's what you should do. When you make a mistake like that, it's an irresponsible play. It completely changes the momentum of this drive. Now A&M can start to get aggressive in a 2-minute drill.
40 seconds on the clock. Still 2 timeouts to work with from the 49-yard line of Mississippi State. Mond throws it to the sideline, incomplete. Abram got pressure that time. This also goes back to whether or not to punt on 4th down, because if you punt it and you pin him deep, A&M's probably just going to hand the ball off a couple times and go to halftime.
Yeah, just inconsistent with his previous decision making. Maybe he felt like his quarterback had a hot hand, but now if I'm Jimbo Fisher, I mean, I'm thinking I can run it too if I want to. If I like the box count for the run, I can run it because I still have 2 timeouts.
Yep.
And I'm not that far away from potentially trying a field goal.
Even though your kicker missed from 49 earlier, he does have a 52-yard made field goal this year, so you need to get to around the 35-yard line. Mond with a clean pocket, throws down the sideline, one-on-one coverage incomplete, but a flag. Davis being guarded by Smitherman, and a penalty marker is down at the 25-yard line.
Pass interference, number 8 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
That's going to put him in field goal range. Man, that's not much there at all.
It's not a lot at all.
Those are 2 guys hand fighting.
I don't like that call. I really don't. I mean, there's contact like that on every single deep ball that you'll see in college football throughout the course of a Saturday.
That's egregious. You got to let these guys play. Wow.
That's a bad call. I mean, that's the second 15-yard penalty that Mississippi State's defense has given this Texas A&M offense in a 2-minute situation. Yeah. It's inexcusable.
In 15 seconds. Now they're at the 34-yard line. 31 seconds to go, and they still have those 2 timeouts.
And pressure look right here from Mississippi State. Watch the pressure off the right-hand side.
And here comes up the middle. Mond just gets rid of it, throws it downfield. It's caught inside the 5 by Rogers. Now they're saying no, he couldn't come up with it. Rogers unable to make the grab with Adegoke in coverage.
So the last one's pass interference, but that one's not. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, clearly there you couldn't see.
Right there, he doesn't even turn around and look at it. But, yeah. I mean, great effort by Rogers. And a good job by Kellen Mond. I mean, that was all-out pressure called by Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State. He evaded, he ran backwards and threw it as far as he could to try to give his 6'4" wide receiver a chance.
Man, how many drops for A&M in this first half? 5 unofficially, we're told. On 2nd and 10, again, pressure up the middle. And the catch made by Davis, who's free. Heading for the end zone. Inside the 5. He makes it in. Touchdown. "34-yard catch and run by Courtney Davis, a former big-time recruit who tore his ACL 2 years ago. Didn't catch a ball last year, but is making plays in 2018.
Man, what a turn of events. You opt to go for it on 4th and 3. You don't get it. You have a face mask. Then you have a pass interference. And then you blitz all out again, and they go with a tunnel screen for the big play touchdown.
Well, the passing game a little bit better for Mississippi State, yet the Bulldogs still find themselves down to Texas A&M 10-7 at halftime. Go to the studio now. Mercedes-Benz halftime report. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. A late touchdown by Texas A&M. And the Aggies have a 3-point lead as we get ready to start the second half from Starkville. Dave Patch with Greg McElroy and Tom Luganville. And as we look at our Buick Drive recap, we see how Mississippi State basically collapsed the last 40 seconds of that first half. Right?
Yeah, they controlled the first 29 minutes and 20 seconds, but it was all A&M after that. Here it was on the 4th and 3. Didn't agree with that decision. And then they get a face mask, free 15 yards, and then a pass interference, a little questionable, free 15 yards, and then Kellen Mond hits Courtney Davis on the tunnel screen, and it was off to the races. Changed so quickly. Mississippi State has to be kicking themselves for the way they finished up. They really did a nice job early on in the game, but it got worse as the game progressed.
Mond had only 56 passing yards until that touchdown that went for 34 yards. Nick Fitzgerald played much better throwing the football in that first half, and we'll see him shortly here. It'll be a touchback, and the Bulldogs will start on their 25.
And Nick Fitzgerald's been hit a few times tonight. And if you look at Texas A&M on defense, Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator, has been aggressive. They blitzed him, and early on, Fitzgerald handled it very well, throwing a nice touchdown down the left-hand side. But as the game went along, those pressures ramped up a little bit more, and he didn't handle it quite as well. There, throwing it off target, and then not seeing the corner blitz off the left-hand side a little later in the second quarter. So he's got to do a better job of recognizing that pressure and getting it out on time when Texas A&M opts for blitz.
First year for Mike Elko with A&M. He was at Notre Dame last year as the defensive coordinator, former player at Penn. Bulldogs on their 25. Fitzgerald going to throw it on first down to Mitchell, who had a drop in the first half, but able to hang on here for about 6 yards. And the defender injured on the play, Gedeon Renfro. Renfro going to stay in the game, maybe go right back at Mitchell here. Donovan Wilson is back. He was suspended after getting a targeting call in the second half of A&M's last game, so he had to miss the first half of tonight's ball game. Fitzgerald keeps it here on 2nd and 4 and has a running lane past the 40. Got tripped up. Otherwise, he's still going. Checking with Tom Luganville.
Well, guys, I asked Coach Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State why the decision to go for it on 4th and 3, and he just felt like with one-on-one on the outside and pressure coming that they've got to keep taking shots. Nick Fitzgerald throws the ball out of bounds, and now all of a sudden it takes away from your execution. But he did tell me, guys, he's going to continue to take shots, and the quarterback and the receivers have got to connect.
Well, we've had these guys 3 times in the last 5 weeks. This is by far the most aggressive they've been. Throwing again on first down. You see the arm strength. Fitzgerald puts it on Mitchell. It's a first down into Texas A&M territory.
And Fitzgerald's been very accurate when his feet are set and he knows where he's going with the football. He can deliver the ball anywhere on the field. He's got a very strong arm, and that time they go with a little stutter go and a comeback, which creates an awful lot of separation for Mitchell. It was a little up and down catching it in the first half.
Fitzgerald under 100 passing yards each of the last 3 games, along with 4 interceptions last week against LSU. Here's Harris Williams off the left edge, and they're running the ball with a lot of success on this A&M defense, which came in #1 nationally in run D.
And you're actually going to watch the right tackle, Stuart Reese, pull around and hit Tyrell Dodson, the middle linebacker. That was a really good design. That's twice now on this drive where they've had unique looks with counters. Fitzgerald ran one, and there they burst forward yet again on a little bit of a counter action play for big yardage.
Joe Moorhead, very creative play caller. We saw it last year with Penn State. Saquon Barkley, Trace McSorley in that group before he took over here for Dan Mullen in Starkville. Extra defender in the box, and there's movement at the point of attack. And Eris Williams has the ball and actually gets about a yard or two. Oh, odd snap.
Man, now, I mean, Fitzgerald's going up to make an audible, and his his center, Elton Jenkins, thinks he's asking him to snap the ball. It's a heads-up play by Eris Williams.
No doubt.
They're very fortunate there to even gain yardage on a play like that.
Surprised that nobody for Texas A&M's defensive front actually moved off the ball.
It's because the offensive line didn't move. Jenkins almost snapped it reluctantly.
It must have been a peace treaty.
That was strange.
On 2nd and 9, Fitzgerald looking for running room. It's not there. He gets smashed by Dalen Mack. And then Alaka comes in to clean him up. Oh, it's a negative play. 3rd and long now.
Dalen Mack just absolutely destroyed the quarterback run game right there up the middle.
Whoa.
What a breath of fresh air this year has been for Dalen Mack. I mean, he's a young man, so highly regarded out of high school, 5-star player, came on campus and took our breaths away with how well he played early in his career. The last 2 years completely disappeared. Really committed himself to this program and this coaching staff, and he has reaped the benefits. He's now an NFL prospect for sure, given the way he's played.
Fitzgerald on 3rd down and 11, taking another deep shot, going end zone. It's caught by Mitchell. Touchdown. How about Nick Fitzgerald tonight? Looks like an entirely different quarterback the way he's throwing the ball with confidence down the field. On 3rd down tonight, Fitzgerald is 4 for 4 for 95 yards and a touchdown. Chrisman puts the point after through, and it's a 4-point Bulldog lead.
It was a great throw by Nick Fitzgerald, but how about the route? Look at the out and up. The double move working against Renfro and Mitchell, creating the separation and then high-pointing the ball that was underthrown. What a start for the Bulldogs here in the 2nd half.
Great response by Mississippi State out of halftime after A&M stole momentum in the final seconds to take the lead 10-7. The Bulldogs march down the field on one of the best defenses in college football. And Nick Fitzgerald with a touchdown pass, his 2nd one of the day. And now the kickoff put in play. It's rare that we've seen that at all in college football this year. On one hop, here's Corbin on the 20. Thrown down at the 27-yard line. They hand it off here to Williams. And he's grabbed at the 29-yard line by Lee Autry. So it's a gain of 3 or 4.
No, Greg, what stands out about that last play for Mississippi State on that touchdown was the poise and the stature of quarterback Nick Fitzgerald. You can see it in his body language. He's like an entirely different player from what we've seen the last 4 weeks.
You're absolutely right, Tom. At times last week against LSU, he just looked a little shell-shocked. Yep. He wasn't seeing the defense, wasn't seeing the field real well. And when he did have time to throw, he was inaccurate. Completely different player tonight. It's a credit to him and his coaching staff.
On 2nd and 7, here's Mond to the air, and open along the sideline is Buckley, and he has a 1st down to the 36-yard line.
As far as Texas A&M's offense is concerned, they did some nice things in the 1st half, but it looked a little sluggish. I mean, they had some dropped passes, they had some mistakes in protection, just not really clicking on all cylinders. That's not really out of the norm. You're coming off a bye week, but they finished that 1st half so well trying to carry over some of that momentum on offense.
Yeah, Mond with 10 incompletions, and 5 of those were drops. Press set of downs on the 36. Mond hands it off to Williams, grabbed in the backfield by Sweat and Autry. And Autry is listed as a 3rd-string nose guard, but that's how deep the Bulldog defensive line is when he makes a play here on the running back.
Yeah, they are good up front. And Texas A&M is a pretty solid group when it comes to being balanced and being able to run the football, but this defensive front for Mississippi State is so stout. Montez Sweat, one of the best in the business, and Jeffrey Simmons, arguably the best in the business at defensive tackle.
On 2nd and 10, Mond with time. Receiver comes free. It's Jones, a first down. Inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. Mond has been very sharp for most of this game because of all those drops. The percentage isn't very high, but still pretty good throwing the ball.
Yeah, and that's just a great design. It's just called Scat 66. You have an inside curl by the tight end. If he's covered, you work to the outside. He's your number 2. I know Kellen Mond is only a sophomore, but he's very poised. Does a great job getting through his progressions. Delivers the ball accurately there to the curl.
Mond will throw on first down. Long pass caught by Buckley, and he has a first down. Cameron Buckley, who's nicknamed Houdini because he makes magic happen. Although you could call him Houdini for a different reason in the first half. We didn't really see him. He did drop a ball.
He disappeared, if you will. I get it. There you go. Makes sense.
Wow, I see where you went there, Dave.
Man, Dave, what a zinger. That was, I'll tell you what, though, I like this plan so far for Texas A&M, but at some point in this game, they're going to have to take the top off the defense. They haven't really tried, other than a play or two here and there, to throw it downfield. At some point, they got to throw something vertical.
Play action for Mond. Pass is deflected and nearly intercepted by Peters. They got tipped in the linebacking core. Mark McLaurin looked like he was the one that got a hand on the football.
He did. He is out actually in coverage on Jay Sternberger. And as Mond's eyes went to the corner route, McLaurin peeled off and got a hand on it. That was a nice job by the senior safety.
Another pass play here in the red zone for Mond. And here comes Simmons. Mond dumps it off to Travion Williams. And he steps out of play after another loss. About a half-yard loss. Chased out by Jamal Peters. And now it's 3rd and long. Pressure coming on 3rd down and long. Mond throws over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Hezekiah Jones, who looked like he had his back turned to the ball that time. I don't know if he didn't expect it or what, but 4th down.
Yeah, you'd see he just goes down.
How was that?
I don't know if he thought that the ball was going for Sternberger.
He must have, right? He must have thought that. He saw Sternberger in the area and got down.
He had to have. I mean, that's just a bust by Hezekiah Jones. There's no way that they were supposed to be in the same spot, too. That's just poor design. So clearly, whether it was Sternberger or Jones, somebody busted that route.
And now a 40-yard field goal try that is good from Seth Small, who's 2 for 3 tonight and gets the Aggies back within a point. We're taking a look here at our AP rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And Clemson just rolled today in Tallahassee. Notre Dame has extended its lead over Navy to 27-0. Georgia outlasts Florida.
Fascinating top 10 right now. A lot going to happen here in the final month of the season. And these teams really match up well. Really good in the trenches. Solid personnel in the front seven defensively for both teams. It's always such a physical game when these two teams tee it up.
They fake the swing pass, and Fitzgerald in trouble. Slammed to the ground at the 11-yard line. Jaden Peavy makes the play for Texas A&M, getting the sack.
Yeah, watch Peavy. He's right here. He's going to work out and then get back in beating Stuart Reese, the right tackle. A nice job using his hands right there, engaging, throwing the right tackle off of him, and collapsing on Fitzgerald for the sack. Really well done by the sophomore.
One of the few times we've seen Nick Fitzgerald hold on to the ball tonight, which led to that sack.
Minute to go, 13-yard loss, second down and 23. Fitzgerald with time, everybody covered. He takes off and steps out of bounds, getting back to the line of scrimmage. Landis Durham in the area, so now it's third down and long.
It'll be interesting here, Tom, to see what Mike Elko opts to do defensively. Their game plan tonight has been pressure and attack, 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 attack. Here in a third and very long situation, do they continue to attack Nick Fitzgerald, or do they drop way off, play borderline prevent, and try to keep the ball in front of him?
I think I would come after him again until they prove they can handle it, play inside coverage from a technique standpoint on defense, and heat them up.
They've had success on third down tonight against the #1 third down defense in the country, but this is asking a lot. Third and 21. Fitzgerald looking, and now wide open is Guidry, who gets the first down and more. Past the 40-yard line, inside the 20, gets a block to the 10, and finally brought down at the 2-yard line. 84-yard play on third and 21.
What a great job by Guidry, uncovering as soon as his quarterback was in a little bit of trouble. Guidry uncovers and breaks it inside for a huge play. What a conversion for Mississippi State.
And Nick Fitzgerald has thrown for 188 yards, 6 of 6 passing on third down. Unreal. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Expedia reminds us we're here at Davis Wade Stadium in Starkville, Mississippi. Great game, great atmosphere, among the best in all of college football. And after that 84-yard pass play, the longest of Nick Fitzgerald's career, they have a chance to extend their lead with first and goal on the Texas A&M 2. 84 yards on third and 21 for this embattled quarterback. He'll keep it here. And grabbed by Kiki. No gain on the play. Nick Fitzgerald, though, guys, deserves a ton of credit overcoming the last 3 games. A lot of people calling for him to be benched. But the coach showing confidence in him, letting him spin it downfield for a good part of this game.
He has certainly responded to the criticism. He's been accurate. He's been decisive. He's made good decisions. He's done everything that you could possibly want from him tonight. And what's been a really nice bounce-back performance.
But no gain on that first down play, so it's second and goal from the 2. And again, they don't have their top tailback, Kylan Hill, who's out with injury. Fitzgerald pulls it back, rolling out, and gets grabbed at the 1. His foot hit the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown! Durham almost with a horse collar, and then you see Fitzgerald, he's clearly not in. He runs into his own guy, Justin Johnson, down on the 1.
The ruling is the runner stepped out of bounds with the ball just inside the 1-yard line, short of the goal line. It'll be third and goal inside the 1. Clock will start on my signal.
And he clearly wasn't in, so now it's third and goal from the 1. You in 4-down territory, guys, here?
Absolutely. This part of the field, 4-down territory. make this potentially an 8-point game unless you lose yardage here. If you lose yardage, then you have to bring the field goal unit out. But if you gain it, or if it's no gain, I'm absolutely keeping my offense on the field for 4th down.
Fitzgerald keeps it, and Fitzgerald powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown!
Really, that ball crosses the plane. What an individual effort by Nick Fitzgerald. There were 3 unblocked Aggie defenders there in the hole. He made one miss and then pushed his way through 2 more en route to the end zone.
8th rushing touchdown this season for Fitzgerald. He also has 2 passing touchdowns. Then that extra point sweeps inside the left upright. 8-point lead for Mississippi State.
It was all made possible by a huge conversion on 3rd and 21. Nick Fitzgerald, nothing open initially, escapes to his right, finds Guidry, and he takes it to the 3-yard line, and a couple plays later, Fitzgerald pays it off for the touchdown as his coach looks on. The Bulldogs lead by 8.
We're back on ESPN Saturday Prime College Football, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Nick Fitzgerald has accounted for all the Mississippi State touchdowns, 1 on the ground and 2 through the air. In the field of play, Corbin at the 10, up to the 20, brought down at the 23-yard line. Let's go. Down 8 points, all of their timeouts remaining, 7:33 on the clock. So you figure after this they have 1 possession left, maybe 2, depending on their defense. But time's starting to run out. Underneath, it's Corbin, past the 40, up to the 44-yard line. So they get a chunk play there of 11 yards. 2nd down, Willie Gay on the tackle.
Boy, is he exciting, Greg. If this is the type of athlete that they're going to get skill-wise here, and I know they've had some good offenses in the past, but boy, he is special.
He's like he's shot out of a cannon every time he has the ball. The explosiveness by number 7 is remarkable for a freshman.
He's in the backfield again here with Mond on 2nd down and 4. Going to hand it off to Corbin here. And a nice tackle by the corner, Cameron Dantzler. Came up in run support. It's only a 1-yard gain. 3rd down and 3.
Great tackle by Dantzler. And in this particular spot, you have the whole field to the right to work. Mississippi State has consistently brought pressure. If I'm Jimbo Fisher, I'm rolling Kellen Mond out to the right. I'm trying to get him out on the perimeter where he can have a pass option and a run option if nobody's home.
Aggies are 0 for 2 on 3rd down this half. Instead, it's a straight drop back. Receiver able to make that catch. It was thrown behind Hezekiah Jones, but he hung on to it. And that'll move the football into Mississippi State territory with a fresh set of downs.
And this is really nice catch and concentration by Hezekiah Jones. Obviously, the first time he caught it, not great. And man coverage, a good job, too. You got to give credit to Jay Sternberger, who went out and gave a little rub to Jones as he burst on the drive route underneath.
Nearing 5.5 to go here in the 4th quarter. Mond pulls it back, and it's picked off, no dropped. Oh, Abram had it, and he put it on the ground. He collided with a teammate, and I wonder if that threw him off for a second. Should have had a pick.
I mean, he's working over the middle of the field, and Abram arrives early to me. That looks like pass interference.
I'm with you.
I mean, look at as the ball is arriving. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, he knocked down
Buckley was on the ground before the ball even got there. Abram a little early, fortunate to get away with that one.
2nd and 10 for Texas A&M. They bring Buckley into the backfield, fake it to him. Mond way backs up, setting up the screen to Williams. Gets a block. He's inside the 40, has the first down, still going inside the 20. Williams finally Brought down inside the 15-yard line. Boy, Mond just sprinting backwards forever, waiting for that screen to come open.
Man, what a great play call by Jimbo Fisher. Pressure by defensive coordinator Bob Shoop. And they go with the screen yet again, just like they did in the first half, except that was a tunnel screen. This is a halfback slow screen. Tremendous job by Kellen Mond retreating away from those blitzers, putting a little air over the top to Travion Williams, who had a lot of green grass out in front. Timely play call for the Aggies.
Ball on the 15-yard line. Mond to throw. In trouble. Oh, he gets smashed back at the 25-yard line by Corey Thomas. A 9-yard loss.
Yeah, here's Corey Thomas. He works out and around and makes this play. At first glance, you see the collision too, and you think that it's number 94, Jeffrey Simmons, and huge contact on number 34, Corey Thomas.
So second down and goal from the 23. A penalty and then a sack and a pass here that's caught. They get back to the 10. Buckley on the catch. Actually the 11-yard line. Third and goal. You're in 4-down territory here though. Third and goal from the 11.
No doubt. 4-down territory in this shrunken part of the field. We've been saying it all night. Since Kendrick Rogers is not on the field, he's your biggest target in this area. Since he's not out there, I have to be looking in the direction of Jay Sternberger, All-American tight end.
He's in the slot there to the right at that third and goal sign. From the 11-yard line, let's see, the Bulldogs don't bring pressure. Mond waiting, throws it into the end zone, and it's overthrown. Out of the back of the end zone, Buckley, the intended receiver. But Montez Sweat was about to take down Mond. He had to get rid of that ball.
Montez Sweat is making Carson Green earn his scholarship tonight. The right tackle has had his hands full. But obvious, keep the offense on the field. Right there, Mississippi State opted to drop everybody out. So you might be forced as an offense to throw it underneath. But you got to tell your wide receivers to get vertical as quick as humanly possible.
Fourth and goal from the 11-yard line. Needing a touchdown and a two-point conversion, and the play clock at 1. They get the play away. Mond to the end zone. It's picked off. Errol Thompson. Potentially a game-saving interception with 2:36 to go.
They're just running a little bit of drop 8 coverage, where there's only 3 rushing the passer and 8 guys dropping out into the end zone. Thompson reads Kellen Mond's eyes right to the spot and makes a great interception as Mond was looking for Jay Sternberger. Jimbo Fisher looking on in agony as an opportunity was squandered.
But it's not over yet if they can get a 3-and-out using their timeouts. Fitzgerald going to keep it here. But that's too much that A&M gives up there on first down. Jimbo Fisher calls a timeout, but that's a gain of 4 yards. I mean, you know it's coming. And A&M's so good against the run, but not on that play. On 2nd and 6, Fitzgerald gets the first down, might get the touchdown. Redemption, resurrection. Nick Fitzgerald has come alive tonight. They wanted him benched last week. He wins the game maybe for the Dogs. 76 yards. You really can't, man. Extra point makes it 28-13. The Bulldogs in full command. Nick Fitzgerald, the star tonight against number 16 Texas A&M, probably puts this one away. Now, Nick Fitzgerald was penalized, not for this, though. This was long after it, as he dunks home this win, more than likely, tying Anthony Dixon for the school record with his 42nd career rushing touchdown. Now, for a kid that had struggled so much the last 3 games and had had such a good career, certainly as a runner, becoming the all-time leader in SEC history in quarterback rushing yards, breaking Tim Tebow's record, to a guy that threw 4 picks last week. Even Joe Moorhead said, look, I'm going to play Keaton Thompson in the second quarter and see what happens from there. But he only played 3 plays. Fitzgerald came back in the game and hasn't left. Here's Corbin from the 30-yard line. And forward progress stopped at the 33. Kellen Mond from his 32. Mississippi State still bringing pressure. Sternberger on the catch, and the clock will stop here as he's pushed out of bounds, shy of the marker at the 40-yard line.
In this situation, obviously 2 touchdown games, you got to push the ball down the field. You have to. 5, 6, 7-yard throws. Mississippi State will give those up all night long. So the mid-range and long-range accuracy for Kellen Mond is going to have to be elite if they're going to mount any comeback whatsoever.
They just wasted 20 seconds outside of 2 minutes. The clock started on the ready for play. It stopped when he went out of bounds. It's going to stop again here on a first down catch by Davis. But on that play, you're outside 2 minutes. It stops when you go out of bounds, but as soon as they reset it, they're going to start it again. And it didn't look like Mond was ready, and they wasted 20 seconds.
Yeah, there's no urgency. I mean, that's like he didn't know the rule. Like he didn't know it was winding.
Now you're at 123, and they're still not snapping the ball. Mond's pass better in the air. How about Jaquarius Landrews in the game he's had, man?
He's done a great job filling in for the injured Brian Cole. It's time they bring pressure. He goes vertical for the 2nd time tonight and knocks that ball down. I'm very impressed with this defense this season. Their offense hasn't always given them their best performance. I'll tell you what, this defense for Mississippi State every week has shown up ready to play. It's a credit to Bob Shoop and these players.
Another drop, this time by Davis, who is starting to run before he secured the ball. So the clock stopped on the incompletion with 1:12 to go. The drop certainly a story in this game. 6 drops by A&M. But ultimately, this was about Nick Fitzgerald and the Mississippi State offense. Would get them to 5-3 and 2-3 in the conference. A&M would drop to 5-3 and 3-2 in league play. Back-to-back home wins for Mississippi State against teams that were ranked at the time that they played them. Auburn in the top 10 when that game took place. And then tonight against number 16 Texas A&M. 3rd and 10 for Mond. Throws horizontally here to Travion Williams and out of bounds. Clock will stop with 1:03 to go, and it's 4th down.
Really surprised, guys, by the just lack of sense of urgency by Texas A&M.
I mean, it's almost like they've conceded.
Yes.
I'm shocked by this. I mean, push the ball down the field. You have to. You have no choice. You have nothing to lose. And if you don't push it downfield, at least have some urgency to get up and snap the ball in the next play.
Got to get to the 42-yard line here to keep this drive alive. Mond in trouble and taken down for a sack with a face mask. Montez Sweat grabbed the mask of the quarterback, and A&M not done yet. Going to be a 15-yard penalty. They're going to have the ball at the 33-yard line. Clearly, tug by Sweat.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So 57 seconds left. 2 timeouts remaining, and the ball at the 33-yard line of Mississippi State. Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, done a tremendous job with this group. The Bulldogs, yeah, they got 3 losses, but they've got as good of a defense as anybody we've seen this year in college football.
No doubt. I mean, they have such game changers in the trenches. Jeffrey Simmons, Montez Sweat. But what's been so remarkable is just how well Corey Thomas and Chauncey Rivers and Autry have played throughout this game as well.
They keep blitzing too. Mond rolling out, looking downfield, throws it out of bounds. Here's Mond taking a shot, incomplete. Intended for Davis. 3rd and 10, 43 seconds left.
These are the throws that I was wanting to see from Mond 1 minute and 15 seconds ago. Right. Know that at this point in the game, just throw caution to the wind, but we're very conservative those first few plays of this drive. This is where you got to just push it down the field, whatever it takes.
They're still bringing pressure. Mond gets hit. He finds Davis. He won't get the first down. It'll be 4th and 2. A&M's going to call a timeout and stop the clock with 36 seconds left. So meanwhile, 4th and 2. Last chance for A&M. Mond. Incomplete. Mississippi State takes over on downs. 32 seconds away from victory. With A&M losing tonight, the winner of Alabama LSU probably wins the West. That game is next Saturday from Baton Rouge. Who do you like in that game?
I'm going to take Alabama. I don't see how anyone can slow them down. That offense is just too electric.
Fitzgerald takes a knee. It's a big win for Joe Moorhead. Considering what he's been through, trying to figure out what to do with a veteran quarterback who's done so much for the program, but he's stuck with him. And Fitzgerald made the decision look brilliant. He played the backup for 3 plays in the second quarter, said, you know what, Nick's gotten us this far, we're staying with him. And Fitzgerald was great. 38 touches, 328 yards of total offense, and 4 touchdowns for Nick Fitzgerald as Mississippi State knocks off Texas A&M 28-13. More college football coming on ESPN. We'll send you to Tucson in a little bit for Oregon and Arizona. But now to Adnan Burke, for Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Starkville. Adnan, take it away.